Welcome to the Pinkbike podcast. I'm Mike Kasmer. Got Matt Beer here with me, Dario DiGiulio. They're up in Squamish, holed up in the office in separate rooms. We're coming to you to talk about all things mountain biking, especially racing this week. It's kind of in the back in the swing of things for racing. We had Leger, the muddy World Cup this past weekend, and then we're coming in on World Champs in Champris. So all kinds of cool racing happening, but we'll just get started with talking about the mud race because it was so cool to watch. I love mud races. I don't know about you guys. Matt, do you like watching the mud races?
Yeah, watching, riding, it's always exciting. There's going to be some, wild lines and crashes, hopefully not too gnarly, but yeah, it usually makes for good excitement.
I feel like the opportunity for like a toss-up too is kind of exciting, where it might not be the like consistent top people that win everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost not as scary too for crashing. I mean, obviously bad crashes can happen, but the mud seems like you get that extra layer of cushion, so they're not going as fast. And when they're going 90 miles an hour on the hard packed dry trails, I get more scared. Yeah. But in the mud, I'm like, oh, I hope they don't crash. But also, if they do, hopefully it's a soft, squishy landing. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool. I didn't get to watch the race. I was out of service all weekend, but I watched some of the highlights now, and I will be going back and watching the full live feed because it looked awesome. So
yeah. Good one. Yeah, this whole season's been really great racing if you can watch it. I know there's always the normal complaints about watching it, but if you do get to watch it, the actual race action has been excellent. Like you don't know who's going to win till the very last person down. In this one, watching Ronan just kind of keep it. Ronan's been kind of that checkers for wreckers. His saying is, Ronan's saying this year? Helicopter or podium or something?
Podium.
That's not a good saying, Ronan. Like, don't do that.
Yeah. Like podium or heli, basically.
Yeah, it doesn't, please don't.
Not a great method, but
it did work this time.
It's worked this time. Yeah, I mean, good for him. I think, it's a testament to skill too. It's not just luck. Like he didn't just like throw it all. Like he actually held the race together.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked solid in his race run, and so did a lot of other people. But he definitely like put on a show. And I mean, the one person that did kind of pip him was Max Allren.
Yeah. So that cool. Kid, next year is going to be insane. I mean, a junior, the times obviously conditions change from the morning to the afternoon when people race, but still, like Max Allren is one of the fastest riders in the world right now in the downhill world. For any age.
And he's riding in style too. He's just like cruising, looks good.
His feet, he's unclipped like once or twice, I think, in his whole run. Which I mean, that's a feat in itself. Like.
It was pretty sick. If he can keep the calm into his his first pro season, like that's a recipe for success. He's phenomenal.
He's riding. He definitely rides mature for being 18 or 17.
Yeah,
and that kind of like leads into, or maybe gives you like a good insight into who might do well in the upcoming World Champs this weekend, because Champris could be a mud fest, as we know. And that definitely makes for some of the most exciting racing to watch, because that is one heck of a track. Super steep, slippery, technical, pretty relentless, I would say.
Yeah.
Dario, you've ridden there?
I've ridden there in like the mixed wet, and it was scary for me. I only had a couple laps, just figuring out the trails, but I cannot imagine going as fast as people do down that track in the wet. Like,
yeah, they get slimier mud over there. It's funny, people.
It's so much harder. Like
our Pacific Northwest mud is actually pretty easy to ride in. It's kind of like the most perfect mud you could get. But
I mean, you heard Gracie Hemstreet talk about it about Leger. She was like, "Yeah, I don't really like riding in the mud." And they're like, "Aren't you from the Northwest?" And she's like, "Yeah, but we don't really have mud." And it's true. Yeah. Like we get like wet trails, but it all holds up way better than it should. And that. Or the Soleil zone does not. It gets so gnarly. I was pretty humbled riding in the wet there.
Yeah, almost turns into like what the locals describe as like soap.
Yeah, it feels that way.
Bar of soap, where like that in between layer where you can't dig in and you're just sliding on the top surface. So yeah, I think there might be some local knowledge coming into play there this weekend. And
a lot of the riders have been practicing too, whether they're local or not. They've definitely been getting their laps in.
The like Swiss Federation's been out there like every weekend for the past month.
It is one of those things, whether it's fair or not. I mean, it kind of happens, but it is always kind of strange when people, but I don't think is the full track open for practice, or they close it at a certain point?
Sure.
You know how that?
It was open a couple weeks.
Yeah, but I guess that trail has also been there for years too. So people have had when was the last World Champs there? 2011. So they've had 15 years or 14 years to practice or something. So.
They like rebuilt the lowest, maybe fifth of the track last summer when I was there. They were like working on it, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, the track is the same. And realistically, like the same people are going to win.
Yeah, they had European champs there. Last year.
Yeah.
And it's been around for a while now, so
it's gonna be a good race.
Yeah,
it's cool to see Gracie. Yeah, it's cool to see Gracie win. We didn't mention the women's field, but yeah, it's her. And is that her fourth win this year? Third
or fourth? I don't remember.
Yeah, she's been doing great and looking solid too. It's just cool to see another Canadian up there and young too. Like the future of downhill is looking good.
Yeah,
it's gonna
and like the investment coming through for that Norco team. You know, they put in like clearly so much development work on new bike and a whole new team. And last season was pretty much a wash. And then this year it came through and she's been killing it. So got to be good for them. Is the World Champs Saturday this coming weekend?
It's Sunday. There's the the first, they split into 2 weekends instead of doing like a doubleheader. So the first weekend is downhill, and then the second weekend is cross country.
Well, and we had the Enduro one this past weekend, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which that one just, I mean, admittedly, I kind of forgot it was happening. It just flew under the radar because you're just so wrapped up in the World Cup, and I blew my fantasy team a little bit because I accidentally put Hattie Harnden on there because I just spaced. I was like, she does well in the mud. I'll put her on downhill. I'm like, oh no, you're an idiot. Like she's also doing Enduro and it's Enduro. World Champs. But
same with Richie Rude. Like he was on my fantasy team like a couple weeks ago, or like for the last round, and then I had to change him off because he's not only racing but winning world champ. Enduro,
he's the world champ now, so it's worthy to step away to do a different race, I guess. But
double duty.
Hit on him. So impressive.
Cool to see. And local lady Ellie Hoskins winning for the women in the EWS. That was really cool to see. She's been on fire this year and already bagged a couple wins. But that one, pretty unreal.
Yep. Yeah. Squamish Loke and very friendly. A nice lady.
Yeah, it's good. Lots of it's just it's kind of fun.
It's a bummer that they haven't made it as like big a deal as it should feel, like the Enduro World Champs thing. I think if there were any opportunity for them to be like, all right, we're elevating this to a new level, this might be the occasion. But
I think the scheduling there, definitely undermined the presence and importance of Enduro racing is still alive and well.
For sure.
And definitely important, like you said, like this is the type of bike that most people ride, the tracks that most people ride on, their weekends out, and kind of encompasses mountain biking as a whole, I think, the most in terms of racing. But
it's tough too, being like an hour's drive away from Lachey, when that's obviously going to draw all the crowd for the downhill.
Yeah, I mean, Enduro racing is so boring to watch as a spectator. Like, it's not even
really. I think it can be cool.
It's hard to do a downhill race. Like a downhill race, you can post up and see so much action from your one spot. But like, if you have to be motivated to be an Enduro spectator. You can.
I think depending on the logistics, it can be cool. Like I spectated the Crankworks Enduro, and it was pretty cool. Like I just had to hustle to get between all the stages, but like I did see the same crop of people on every track. So
I think being a lazy spectator, it's harder to be a lazy spectator for Enduro. If I'm spectating, that's what I want to be. I just want to like hang out and watch people.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
So I mean, if you put the tracks close enough, you can get around. But I know even like our photographers when they cover Enduro, it's so much harder for them too, because you have to be at one stage to another. So I don't know how they'll figure out. Like the calendar came out for next year, and Enduro's down to. Looked like they cut another race from it. Like the calendar keeps getting smaller and smaller for Enduro World Cup. Downhill racing, there's a pretty bigger calendar next year. We got Whistler and South Korea, and it's going places, but still very Eurocentric for all of it. I'm not sure exactly. I don't have a solution of how to make Enduro great again, but it's a great discipline to actually participate in. I think Enduro is the one that, like you were saying, most people can have fun at, but to actually spectate is a little trickier. We'll see. Yes. Speaking of Enduro, we did have some retirements announced. Matt Walker is going to be retiring from Enduro racing on the Pivot team. He's been at it for a while. I don't have all the stats of when he first started, but definitely had some good seasons. And yeah, does anyone know what he's doing next? Does anyone talk to him?
I don't know. I think we've tried to get an interview, and that's in the works, but we don't have one yet. But yeah, he's retiring. We got Camille Blanche retiring after like a short but pretty stellar career.
Yeah, she kind of came in later. Like she didn't have the run up from juniors and that type of thing like other people did.
I mean, I didn't realize this until reading her retirement notice, but she hadn't mountain biked until she was 28.
Yeah.
And then picked it up and immediately won like some Euro champ or something like that, and then got a World Cup contract.
Yeah, she figured it out, and then she
ended up with the incredible. I mean, she was an Olympian prior for hockey, but still, that's a pretty different thing. But she's retiring due to brain injury, so that's pretty sobering stuff. Ongoing concussion stuff. That's pretty good.
Yeah, if you can't go the speed, I mean, if you're not comfortable going the speed, and if you need to tone it down, World Cup racing is not the place, fortunately.
We've also seen another person back away from at least one race this year due to that same type of injury. Was Dan Booker, another enduro racer, got a couple wins this year. So he was on the up, but made maybe a smart play to, even though he didn't even have a crash as of late, it was like something that was lingering and just felt like his riding was off, and made the smart play to back out of Enduro World Champs this past weekend. So I think it's, becoming maybe not more noble, but like more
accepted,
to recognize your injuries, and people now have that respect amongst their peers, like to be able to back away from that and not look like a lesser racer or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you can't really just push through a concussion, even though I think back in the day, that was kind of what people thought, like, oh, just keep going, it's going to get better, which it probably will get better, but riding is not the answer to that, or at least riding with this chance of crashing. Yeah, exactly. You have to kind of manage your risk. So yeah, it's good that there's more awareness around that. And I know there's more concussion protocols and things in downhill that didn't used to be there. So hopefully it's getting better. It's obviously still a risk and it comes with it. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, hopefully Dan's back in action sooner than later when he's ready, but he's had a great season until now. Yeah. Speaking of more retirements, we have an interview with one of the greatest of all time, Nino Schurter. Jessie-May sat down and interviewed him. He's going to be retiring after there's World Champs and then one more World Cup, and that'll be his final World Cup after the best World Cup XC racing results of anyone. He's got Olympic gold in there, overall titles, World Champs. I mean, he's done it all. Yeah. And just impressive athlete, cross country riding, and
dominant until the end too. I think
he's not just fading away. He's kind of leaving on good terms, close to the top. So enjoy this interview with Nino Schurter, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Nino Schurter, welcome to the Pinkbike podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. My honor.
You are just back from racing in Leger. That's right.
Yeah, I was just racing yesterday in Leger, and now I'm in Verbier, staying a bit on altitude for World Champs in Grand Montana. So final preparation for my last two races, World Champs in Grand Montana, and then Lenzerheide, my final World Cup.
Sure, two races at home in Switzerland. That must be quite a nice way to say farewell to the World Cup racing.
Yeah, when I saw the calendar last year coming out of having those World Champs, we knew already long ago that will be in Switzerland, but then also having the World Cup just the weekend after, I was like, that could be the perfect ending. And it's when I saw that, for me it was clear I want to keep going until those two races and enjoy those two home races, and then it's a good time to say goodbye.
I guess it must have been a very difficult decision to make after such a long and successful career. Bittersweet, perhaps. But looking back at your career, your results, is it 9 or 10 World Championships and 9 World Cup overalls and Olympic champion as well? Does it feel to you that there is any stone left unturned at this stage?
For sure. First, like, the whole about retirement, it started already a long time ago. Like after winning the Olympics in Rio, first people ask already, when do you retire? Is it now not the best time? And this is now 9 years ago. So it's something that was in process for me quite a while, and I always could feel I'm not ready yet. I still enjoy the sport so much. I still enjoy racing, and I still have the fire in me and also the success. But now, last year and also this year, I can feel now I slowly can feel I want to do something new. I did that now for over 20 years, and I had a great time, and I really enjoyed it. But now I can feel it slowly. The fire is like slowly going a bit good out, and I want to do something new. But yeah, I looking back to my career for sure, it's like I couldn't have imagined better. I'm super happy for everything, and if I could, I would do everything again exactly the same way.
Wow, that sounds immensely satisfying. I think I can speak for a lot of fans when I say that you will be massively missed on the broadcasts, and not only will you be missed by your fans, but I'm sure you'll be missed in some ways more than others, perhaps on the track amongst your competitors. I think, like for a lot of your competitors, you will have been to them what maybe Julian Absalon was to you in your early days of racing. How important was it to you that you had someone like Julian to chase?
I think it's really important to have like those role models, but also rivals where you really you want to be like them, or and work as hard as you can, and then also to try to beat them. I remember like so many trainings. I always had Le Chouillet in my mind. I was like, I want to beat him, and I was digging so deep, just like in my head already to try to beat him. And I think that's what you need, like to push yourself to your very best, to have your rivals you're looking up, but you also want to beat them. And I can feel a lot of like young riders around me when I'm racing now. I can feel they get some extra motivation when they want to pass me, and I was exactly the same when I was like a young kid in the scene, and I tried to pass Hermida or Uppsala or Christoph Sauser. Like this like gives you some extra motivation, and also for you just to be able to unlock your full potential.
Sure. So you mentioned that you're looking forward to doing something new after 20 years of racing. What are those new things? Will we see you maybe try your hand at other disciplines of mountain biking? Maybe some enduro racing?
Yeah, I'm still part next year on the Scots Ram mountain bike team. So, but will not be as a cross country race anymore. I will focus on like other events for sure. The one or the maybe if I haven't my calendar yet, but I want to do some fun events. I didn't have the time the past years, so an enduro race, maybe a gravel race, even an e-bike race. And just be more available for all my partners, for Scott, for RockShox, Ram, and be at the one or the other event also, to be more there for the event and to enjoy the event, and not just like be focused on racing and just racing is everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Then I'm also have a few other projects. I can't tell yet, but I will soon communicate a few fun things where you guys also will still see me.
Great. You've got a few exciting riders on the Scotch Ram racing team at the minute. Will you maybe stay on in some sort of mentorship capacity for them?
Yeah, it's going to be also a part of me, like help the other riders to perform at their best. We have like with Filippo Colombo, we have a rider that a potentially World Cup winner. He hasn't yet won, but he's really close. And I think if he unlocks his full potential, he can be one that is all at the front for the next years and races. But then also we have a super young team also now with Björn Riley and Emily Johnson. They also both have big potential. So yeah, I'm also looking forward to help them and be on some of the other events to support them.
Okay, and looking to the next race, you've got your final World Championships race in Crans Montana coming, I think, in 2 weekends' time. You had a really good race in 2024 there in Crans when it was probably, I'm not pronouncing it correctly, I'm sorry.
No worries.
But it was wet. It was a very challenging technical race, but you rode a really strong race. I think you had a very minor course diversion for a moment, but yeah, are you excited to be going back to Crans?
Yeah, it's always exciting to race in front of your home crowd. Having a World Championships in your home country is something special. That's I'm going to look forward the most to just race in front of a home crowd. And yeah, Grand Montana is a special course, quite a climber course. And last year I had a really good race, even if it was super muddy and not my favorite conditions. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this race. I hope I struggled this year a bit with a few different things. I always had like I'm not really where I wanted this year. But yeah, I always had a few issues. Beginning of the season, I had a lot of mechanical issues. Then now I'm struggling a bit with my breathing. I have a bit more problems with asthma at the moment, and I try to figure out that how I could get rid of it. And hopefully I will just have a perfect day at Worlds, and also especially in Lenzerheide then, that I can really ride at my full potential. But on the other hand, I also try to enjoy it a bit. It's going to be my last races, and I want to also enjoy it. But it's also much easier to enjoy it when you're racing well.
Sure, you mentioned you were staying at altitude between these races. Is that something that the team and yourself you think might help with your breathing as you go into the next couple of races?
Like World Championships in Grand Montana and also Lenzerheide, it's a bit on altitude. It's on 1,500. It's not really high, but still you can, if you are not prepared for it, you will struggle. So this is like the main goal. Like I was already before Léger in altitude, and now as well I stay to keep the altitude. But for the breathing issues, I'm practicing now some breathing techniques. I did acupuncture for it, and try everything just to get those issues away. Also, I got a bit of a diet now where I could figure out probably I had some issues with some food. So I hope I will be fine now. But yeah. It's also just short now. It's 2 weeks. It's World Champs, and 3 weeks is Lenzerheide. But I try my best, and hopefully I can be at my best.
Yeah, fingers crossed that those interventions help you along for sure. In terms of the race courses themselves, you've seen a huge development in the technicality of the racing through the years. It seems sometimes as though there's a bit of one-upmanship going on with the technicality of the descents and some of the World Cup cross country races. Is that something you've welcomed and you've kind of thrived on, or like do you think we've reached a point where actually things are becoming too difficult maybe for some of the field, and maybe we're at a good level and things shouldn't progress, like gap jumps and just really off camber, rooty sections? Like, where do you think is the right level?
Yes, through my whole career, like the sport changed quite a bit, but also equipment changed quite a bit. But I think in general, the sport went into the right direction. We have now a really attractive sport, also for TV production, and this I think was really important, like shorter loops, and also like the mix. I think at the moment we have quite a good balance. I must say we had years where it went even a bit more to the technical side, and now I think what you can feel now in the World Cup, it's getting slowly back, or like safety things are getting more important. And I think what I had the feeling now in the past 2 years, especially since Discovery is doing the whole production, the races got again a bit faster and a bit more tactical as well. So but I think it's really good balance. What we also see now, it's always really tight racing. So it's the tracks is I would say quite well balanced. We have a lot of good tracks now in the World Cup, and I don't think it's too technical. This is also our sport. This is mountain biking. It's not just about pure power. It's also about your technical skills, and I think it's a pretty good balance.
It makes for some very exciting racing anyway. That's for sure. In terms of the equipment then, now you may not be able to either confirm or deny this, but there have been multiple rumours that several teams, including the Scotch Ram racing team, are developing a 32-inch wheeled bike for racing cross country. Have you ridden a 32-inch wheeled cross country mountain bike?
I can't talk about this topic at this stage. At the moment, sorry.
That's fair enough. I mean, I guess like through your career, we've seen 26, 27 and a half, 29. And I think when you won a race in 2012, when lots of races were on 29-inch wheels, I think you won on a 27.5-inch wheeled bike. And I think there was a bit of excitement amongst the media that, oh, Nino is winning on the smaller wheel size. But you guys were able to test 26, 27 and 29 at that time. Like, how did you find the switch between 27 and 29? And hypothetically, how do you think it would feel going to the much larger wheel size? And do you think there's justification for it?
Yeah, I just had like a replica of my bike from 2004 in Léger. A guy came with a replica bike. And when you look at like what happened through the years, and also like the wheel size, and it's also not just the wheel size, it's also the volume of the tires. It's actually quite crazy. Like, yeah, what changed over the years. And yeah, from 26 to 29, I think there at the beginning, the bikes, they just got blown up and a bit made larger to fit the 29-inch wheel, but the geometry wasn't really adapted to the bigger wheels. So that's why at the beginning I wasn't the first one on the 29ers, because I was like, I couldn't fit because I have quite a low handlebar. I'm not the tallest rider, so I couldn't fit really. So that's why we went for the 27.5-inch. And at the Olympics in London, actually, I was racing with those wheels. But what you could clearly see is the bigger wheels is just rolling better over obstacles. It gives you better grip. You get a bigger volume of your tires. So there's a lot of benefits from bigger wheels. What we all feel now the difference from 26 to 29, and this is potentially could also be better with even bigger wheels.
For sure. And we've seen BMC come with a prototype, not raced yet, of course. And there is discussion that the UCI may implement a wheel size cap before a 32-inch wheel could even be raced at a mountain bike World Cup. What's your stance on the sort of regulations around equipment? Do you think that teams should be allowed to innovate and produce the best possible tool for the job, or do you think there's a limit there with there is some discussions of whether a short rider could actually fit on a larger wheeled mountain bike, and whether there might be then some sort of advantage to taller riders? What's your stance on that?
I think it would be wrong if the UCI would stop the innovation what we had in mountain bike, and if with those regulations it would stop the whole innovation and technology in the sport. Because when you actually look back in mountain biking, actually we had a lot of innovations that also went then in the other disciplines. It all started in mountain biking, and it was always a really good drive to bring new products to the market that we all love those days. Started with disc brakes, and there's a lot of really nice technologies that we saw first on the mountain biking, and I don't think it would be the right thing to stop this development and innovation in the industry and in the sport. For sure, there's if there's safety concerns, it's good to also make sure that we have safe equipment and this, but I don't think the wheel sizes are something that could change something in safety. I would either say in the other way, bigger wheels give you more safety, especially those nasty over the handlebar crashes. You could potentially avoid with bigger wheels.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there with the UCI. For sure. So, Lenzerheide will be your final race. I guess I guess this might be a very silly question, but I think that the goal for you always is to win, right? Never anything else.
For sure, I wanna. It would be the perfect ending if I could win in Lenzerheide one last time. But at the moment, I must also say it's almost. I'm not really there where I could win races. For sure, I still hope I'm getting one of those days in Lenzerheide, and some of a sudden I can battle for the victory. But right now, I just I try to get in best possible conditions for this race, and hopefully race in the top 10 if everything goes well in the top 5. But it's not the end of the world if I can't race at the front. For me, I had such a great career. I had so much luck through my career as well, and this year things are not really going so much my side, and maybe the luck is not that much on my side anymore. But for sure, it would be the perfect ending point. But I also I really want to enjoy one more time this atmosphere, and it's for sure going to be an emotional race as well for me. I had to this place. I have so many great memories from winning world championships and beating records. So maybe, who knows, with all this extra energy, some of a sudden I'm all at the front, and could be the perfect fairy tale.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. I was there a few years ago, and I think maybe was it your 40th World Cup win? in Lenzerheide a couple of years ago.
The 34th.
Was it 30?
Yeah,
34th. Sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
I don't
got
have 40
confused.
at the moment. I don't. I will not
Sorry.
reach the 40 anymore. I have
I'm confused
36 and-
because Rachel Atherton, I think, won her 40th World Cup in Lenzerheide at the same event. So I'm confused. I'm sorry, but I just remember the atmosphere was incredible.
2023, I won or broke the record in World Cup victories in Lenzerheide, what was super special, and also like to see my team being so emotional also for this victory, and the atmosphere there is just stunning.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today, and all the best for these last 2 races of your career. World Cup cross-country races of your career.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
And we look forward to seeing you maybe on an Enduro circuit one of these days.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to use all my other bikes a bit more, like long travel bikes. I didn't had so much time in the past, but I'm already looking forward in 3 weeks' time when I can bring my long travel bikes out of the garage and enjoy the mountains. And yeah. Thanks.
Awesome.
Was my pleasure, and thanks for covering mountain biking. It's always nice. I also enjoy your platform to read stories and everything.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. All right. Well, all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
All right. We're back after that great interview with Nino. We've got some reader questions. We're going to start with a question from, it says Peter from Detroit. Let's see what Peter has to say.
Great city.
I've never been.
Pinkbike. Yeah. Hey, this is Peter from Detroit. Big fan of the podcast. It's been fun to hear how it's evolved over the years, from the Levy days, the Henry days, to what you all got going on now. Just good stuff. Dario, you might remember me from Sedona Mountain Bike Fest.
I do, actually.
Back. You helped
DJ.
snug up my headset, my one-up top cap on my Starling Murmur.
Yeah.
I've carried that with me. It means a lot that you did that. Anyway, on to the question. I ride all kinds of bikes, and I love your guys' reviews. But these days, maybe because of where I live, maybe it's because I'm trying to keep my top speeds a little lower after some injuries, but I'm just completely smitten and tickled by rigid bikes. And it's been a lot of fun reading Meat Engines and that's Andrew Major's blog, and the whole 50,000 to 1 club, which he says for every 50,000 people that buy an e-bike, one person builds up a rigid, often single speed trail bike. So I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. I know you guys are riding steeper, bumpier terrain, but so is Andrew. So I'm curious what you guys think about rigid bikes and single speeds. And it would be really cool to hear Andrew or Jeff Jones or Andy from Stooge on the podcast. I think it could be a fun change of pace. Anyway, thank you guys so much.
Mike, you're smiling.
I mean, I have nothing against rigid bikes, and they're fun. I've owned them in the past. I've done the rigid single speed thing, but they're just on proper rough terrain. It's just a whole different experience. Like, they're cool. People should try them out and experiment and have fun. And bikes are great, but I'm not rushing out to buy a rigid single speed right now.
Yeah, I have a rigid bike that I use for bike packing. Appropriate tool for that use case, but I would counter the 50,000 to 1 thing with, like, I think it's probably 50,000 to millions if you consider the people who don't even think about mountain biking as like a activity. They're just building up a bike to get around. And I think that's kind of where the rigid mountain bike falls in my world right now, is like, it's a good tool for just like hot dogging around and like, going to town, having fun, riding pump tracks, that kind of thing. I have one of those Hudski dualists to try to figure out if it's a mountain bike, and ultimately no, like, you can't ride gnarly stuff on a rigid bike. Like, some people be like, yeah, you can, you're just weak, but like, no, you can't. Like, you could go ride a line and have like a pretty bad time, but you can't ride like some super gnarly, rough, steep thing with big compressions. It's just gonna like break you or the bike. So.
Yeah, and like, well, even then you can, but it's just the the amount of effort it takes is a lot harder. But and like, I mean, this caller Peter was saying, he's kind of using it as a way to slow himself down, which is kind of cool. And I think that is what
totally appropriate.
Yeah, you kind of just want to putz around in the woods, explore, and you kind of can do some different. It makes you have a different riding style, which is cool. So if people haven't tried it, I do recommend playing with something different from your norm. If you've only ridden a big enduro bike, it's almost like going down to an XC bike or that type of thing. But as far as he didn't say it was, but there does tend to be a holier than thou might be a little bit strong of a word, but that kind of is the thing that sometimes people that are way into the rigid single speed thing get, as if they've discovered this magical new path that nobody knows about. But that's what kind of turns me off a little bit to it. But if you approach it as a way to just to kind of have fun and goof off in the woods, I'm all about it. Like, that's cool.
Bikes are fun.
Yeah, bikes are fun. Like, I guess my town bike is a rigid, not a single speed, but it's a Marin like gravel bike, but that's basically the same as a fully rigid off-road bike. But yeah, it's a good way to I don't know where I'm going at this.
The title of one of Andrew's articles is "If you can't be fast, be weird," and I think that's a pretty good summarization of what these bikes are for and like what they're capable of. They kind of change your perspective on it. And like, I haven't ridden a fully rigid mountain bike, but I've ridden plenty of hardtails through the years and a BMX quite a bit when the time's right. And just those bikes, they don't stay on the ground because they have no suspension. They bounce. So no, you're not going to be able to ride gnarlier stuff, but it does change your outlook on the trail or terrain, whatever's in front of you. And there's different ways to have fun with it.
Yeah, and you play with like different tires and things that you would, bigger, wider tires, and it does make you a smoother rider. Like Dario was talking about the pump track. We always talk about pump tracks as a great way to improve skills, but a hardtail, same thing. It does kind of make you're picking your lines more because you know instantly if you made a bad choice. You just can't.
I think I always counter, like, people talk about hardtails being a great way to get into mountain biking, and that was my avenue in, but I don't necessarily think it's the greatest way to learn how to ride because it's kind of too punishing and can kind of lead to some weird technique to compensate. But if you're already an adept mountain biker, it is fun to like ride the same trails on a hardtail and see if you can make them work or like smooth out certain sections. It can be like a nice way to reduce your speed and just like spice it up a bit.
Yeah. So, and we're going in.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're going into the kind of winter season for the Northern Hemisphere, and that is where you kind of get the people have their winter hardtails, which makes a lot of sense. They just don't want to have to deal with suspension bearings and things and maintain that. So night riding on your rigid hardtail single speed, that sounds kind of like an ideal winter activity.
Yeah. I do think those Stooges are cool looking bikes, and I'd love to talk to Jeff Jones. I think he's got some pretty interesting approaches to bike geometry, and like, in a way, like I'm sure he has philosophies around like suspension and like the dynamics of a bike that implements suspension, but like his concepts of geometry work really well for his use case, and I think are pretty ahead of the curve in terms of like what we're now approaching for like dynamic mountain bike geometry. Like, he's been on the long wheelbase, long rear center, tall stack thing for a very long time. It's just that his bikes look really unusual, and so people maybe discount them or don't think of them in quite the same way that they would like a high performance mountain bike. But I'd be keen. I remember like I had a customer at a shop who had one and would like, tootle around on it a lot to check maintenance things, and it seems cool. Like, I'd like to ride one on actual trails just to see what it's like, but they are huge plus bikes, so tires get kind of funky, but
fit right in with the 32-inch wheels coming. You'll be set.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe 32 is the answer. We're going to all be riding rigid single speed 32-inch wheel bikes in the future.
Could be the way.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Peter. I do remember you.
Yeah. Good job tightening his headset. That's
happy to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anyone out there come to me with a loose headset, but I'm happy to help.
Special occasions.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's see this next one.
What up, Pinkers? It's Austin from Pennsylvania. So, I have an interesting question for you guys. This past week, I was biking, and I found in the middle of the woods, all on its own, just a random horse chilling. And it got me thinking, What is some of the weirdest animals you guys have found in the woods while you're biking? Us mountain bikers spend a lot of time just out in the woods, so I feel like we have lots of opportunities to find weird stuff. I've seen just some snakes, an albino squirrel, lots of owls, but
That's pretty cool.
let's hear what the weirdest ones you guys have. Bonus points if it resembled a Sasquatch and you're by yourself. This would be a great question for Richard Cunningham. I'm sure he's got some good ones. But yeah, let's hear some weird stories about animal encounters in the woods.
I saw a peacock this weekend. That was pretty weird.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I saw a grizzly bear.
This weekend
That's
you did?
Also pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I saw a grizzly from far away, but it was on the trail where I was trying to go. And
there we go.
I decided to turn around.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen bears, seen cougars.
Yeah.
Those aren't my favorite to see, honestly.
I've still never seen a cougar while mountain biking. I've seen them crossing the road before, but I saw a bobcat the other day, which isn't weird, but it's cool. I like when I see bobcats.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bobcat hanging out at the bottom of a newer trail in Squamish, and I saw it a couple times. I must have had a den around.
Huh.
That was pretty neat to see. But I think the craziest one I've seen was a badger, actually.
Oh, those are crazy. They're like loaves of bread. Very wide and flat. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen one up close in person. Yeah, that was pretty wild.
We saw a mountain beaver the other day, which isn't the same as it's a little bit different. It's not an actual beaver.
There's one up on Anderson.
Yeah, I wasn't over there, but yeah, there's mountain beavers are a different creature. They're kind of like I don't know what you call it, like not a muskrat. I'm blanking on what they look like.
They're kind of marmoty, aren't
marmoty,
they?
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. They're almost like a marmot.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen it when I was a kid. When I was early mountain biking days, I ran across a huge timber rattlesnake on the East Coast. Like, it was still probably one of the biggest snakes I've ever seen.
Yeah, on the East Coast.
Yeah, East
I didn't
Coast.
know you had East Coast rattlesnakes.
Yeah, timber rattlesnake. They have them.
That was like a common sight for me growing up, but that was like California.
Porcupines. I like porcupines. They're always funny. I've come across porcupines.
That is cool.
I mean, nothing like crazy weird. I guess moose. I saw moose in Idaho once.
I've run into moose like on the trail, like literally.
Those are scary, actually.
They're big and scary. I like them, but I know that they're very dangerous. You're not supposed to go near them, but I really like how big and weird they are.
They are like almost aquatic in the way that
they can swim pretty good.
Evolved. Yeah, I mean, they eat like mostly like river plants. So,
dude, 8-foot fence, won't stop a moose. Just clean over it.
Oh, crazy.
Powerful.
Yeah. I saw condors in Chile. That was cool. And
that's cool.
It's like technically weird just because they're rare. So that was a highlight for sure. Like the biggest bird on Earth. Just
that's cool.
Cruising along.
I had an owl grab the back of my helmet once. That was weird.
What?
Yeah. I was like riding. I was just on like a rail trail, basically commuting, but I had my I had a light. I think the light was on my bike, but somehow, so it was lit up. It was night riding. And then all of a sudden I felt something grab my helmet and I turned around. No, I take it back. Sorry. I have to tell the story better. I'm going to start over. Now I'm remembering it all. I was riding. I did have a light on my helmet, like a helmet light, night riding. And I felt something grab the back of my helmet. And then I turned around to look over like my left shoulder. And then the owl was just right there because it had probably just seen the light and grabbed on. And that helmet later on, when I got home, it had like the talon marks on the top of it, like in the foam. That was pretty cool. That was definitely scary too, because you're like, cruising around in the dark. I was like, and owl attached to your helmet. Yeah, it was solid. If I didn't have a helmet on, it would have definitely like put a puncture in my head. I bet.
Oh, yeah.
After me.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think that covers all of the animals we could possibly see around here, right? Like what else? There. I've seen elk, like in Colorado, big herds of elk was pretty cool. Like I've come over a ridge and seen maybe 50 head of elk kind of running over the next ridge. That was really very naturey.
I've seen herds of caribou in Newfoundland.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. People, this is why we mountain bike. You see all sorts of cool shit. I saw javelina in New Mexico. Those are cool.
Oh, yeah, those are cool too. Those are weird. I like them.
Oh, yeah. Javelina, they're like a small wild boar.
Oh,
yeah. They're very narrow and it's like a flounder of the land. Like when you look at them straight on, they're like small and narrow, and then they turn and they're these like huge disc-shaped pigs. They're really weird.
Yeah. That's
about everything.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think we've got a good selection of those are animals you could see. We'll report back if we see anything stranger. Nope, I've never seen a Sasquatch, but I look all the time. I'm pretty deep in the woods, so one of these days we'll find them.
Yeah. There's monkeys out there.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Well, I wasn't really riding. I was rock climbing, and there was monkeys. That was pretty cool. But that was in Taiwan. have cool
Oh
little
yeah, I
monkeys
saw
that,
monkeys in Taiwan, but I was just
Yeah.
hiking around.
Yeah, it doesn't count as much, I guess. Cool. Well, that was a good question. Yeah, it's fun to see all the random animals out there. Oh, turkeys. I see turkeys sometimes too. Like
Yeah.
East Coast growing up, there's a lot of turkeys, wild turkeys. That's kind of
same at
scary
home
too.
for me.
Yeah. All right.
Hey guys, I'm looking for an opinion on handlebar rolling. I seem to put a lot of weight through the outside of my hands and it shows in my grip wear. So I'm looking to kind of get an opinion on which way I should roll the handlebars, either forward or back. I have a set of the We Are One to package bars, so whatever that back sweep and rise is. I think it's 5 and 8, but looking to see what is preferred, and I kind of only want to roll them once to try it out, as I need to borrow tools to go do it. So thanks. Bye.
I think everyone does that.
I wouldn't. If you have to borrow tools, you should buy those tools.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's
to
a good
roll
start.
your handlebars, you just need one tool, and it's just
Right.
the Allen wrench. So you should have that, I think. Especially if you have
Multi-tool.
fancy bars. You should have a torque wrench too if you're with your fancy carbon bars. And those aren't that expensive either. I mean, don't buy the cheapest one, but like a nice smaller.
Those like
torque wrench.
feedback torque wrenches are pretty cheap and they work
Yeah.
well. I question whether there's a need or not, just because. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys wear out the outside of your grip first?
Yeah, I mean that seems like that's where when you're cornering, you're pressing on that part of your grip. So that would seem like
this is like where the hand loads on the bar. Like, I don't know many people who like manage to. This is hard to describe without video, but like press underneath their pointer finger on the palm. Like that's not really where you.
Like your pinky is doing a lot of work. Your pinky and then that outer pad of your palm is kind of where you're hanging on, because your other fingers are breaking. So I think you might be fine. I mean, if you're getting hand pain, then yeah, you should definitely experiment with some bar roll. And I don't think you could get different answers from all of us, because we've all swapped bikes before for field tests and things. And Dario tends to roll his back more than mine. I tend to ride mine up, but it's all totally personal preference, and there's not a right or wrong way. That's why there's adjustments, just like stem length or bar width or anything.
And I think it's more to do with like how the bike turns than like where your hands are pressing. Like for me, like
there's so many factors. Like I remember it was last year I went around at the pits in the world champs at Andorra and was curious to see what riders had set up their bars and stems and everything else like. And there was such a variety. Like Ronan Dunn's bars were like rolled quite far forward, almost like Moto Trials style. And then
so Jackson does this as well. Like
a lot of
further
forward.
That.
And then other riders, I can't remember who, but like they were very far back, like rolled almost like down swept. So yeah, it kind of depends on the bike geometry, how you sort of sit or stand on the bike, and what's comfortable for your hands, and what kind of steering input you like that would give. So, and again, like grip, lever position, everything can kind of change that. So yeah, I would buy some tools, experiment with it a bit, and see what you find the most comfortable. But then also, secondly, like what kind of inputs you like, how you like the bike to react.
Yeah, even some different grips might do the trick. Like if you're running grips with a bigger flange on the outside, sometimes it kind of naturally changes where the pressure is on your hands. Like I have some, I think they're Bergtech grips. They're almost kind of a little flange on the outer bit, so it naturally would kind of spread the pressure out a little bit differently than if you just have an even, like no flange all the way to the outside of your bar. So again, it's personal preference, but yeah, experiment, and then get those tools so that you can experiment. And you might have to roll your bars more than once, but that's how it works. And once you find it, then you can make a note. You can a little Sharpie on your bars, or just kind of pay attention to what the angle looks like and try that on different bikes if you want.
I remember talking to Minar last season, and he said he'd spent 3 months dialing in his bar roll on his race bike. So prepare for a long battle if you're
somewhere between one ride and 3 months. Hopefully you can find the sweet spot. All right, let's do one more question. I think time for one more.
Hey, this is Scott from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm currently riding a 2021 YT Izzo Blaze Edition. I think the 140, 130 bike's kind of the perfect bike for what I ride, 90% of the time around here. But the bike's still in great shape. Take good care of it. Swap the tires out, all that fun stuff. But, looking at all the new stuff coming out, just kind of have that itch for that new bike, but trying to also be financially responsible. Do you guys have any upgrades or recommendations for things I can do to make the bike feel like new and avoid dumping $5+ grand into a new bike? Thanks.
I don't know. I don't know what the Blaze Edition indicates. Does it come with like free weed or something?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. I think it was like a nicer build kit. Yeah, I think it was like maybe a little bit slightly burlier build kit if I remember.
Let's see. IT is Blaze.
Yeah, it's just sort of the basic GX Pike, GT Swiss, XM 1900s.
And that's 21.
Yeah, right? 2021. Yeah.
I mean, new gen Pike is better than that generation, in my opinion. Oh, no, this is the prior. Wow, that's a pretty cool bike.
Yeah, there's really not. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Even though 2021 might seem like a little bit of a while ago, there's not much not a lot I would say you have to upgrade right now, because that Geo holds up. The fun bike. It fits in the travel amount that he's saying works well for him. And he's already swapping tires, which that's an easy thing. But maybe might be time for a suspension refresh. Like if you haven't paid to have your fork or shock serviced, that could help make the bike feel better. Maybe pivots if you haven't done bearings at all. That could just check them. They might need to.
And that is like a unique bike in what it's aiming to do, like being medium travel in the scheme of things, but like indexing pretty heavily on climbing efficiency and like sharpness. Like usually like the 130, 140, 150 bikes are like trying to descend better than they climb. Generally that's like where the components and the geometry tend to lean. So it is kind of it's not the kind of bike that I'm like, oh, there's like XYZ in that category that you should go buy. So maybe it is more like a components thing.
Yeah, I think your frame is good.
Yeah, if this is more, a pedal-friendly bike, this came with like the regular SRAM GX Axis stuff, so like pre-transmission. Maybe some electronic stuff if you got some cash and you want to spend it on your bike and fall out with some fancy stuff. That or, some electronic suspension of some sort.
I don't think that's what I would recommend. The electronic suspension, that's never on my list of things to recommend. I would tell him just get some better brakes. I think it still has G2s on there.
Because the bummer too is like, as he said, like he doesn't want to spend like $5 grand. If you're getting electronic suspension, you're spending like closer to that than not.
Like this bike already pedals pretty well. I think just maybe some new brakes.
Yeah, like if the codes are, a 4-year-old set of codes, like
I think it had G2. Tired. It depends which one he had.
Oh, if it has G2s, get new brakes. If it has codes, give them some love. Maybe like a full piston rebuild. Take it to a shop and have them give it a once over. But like, yeah, I mean, Matt and I are up here to do a brake test, and there's a lot of like really good mountain bike brakes right now that you could pop on that thing. So, and if you're like indexing more on the climbing end of things, you could put some carbon wheels on it. There's a lot of like component things you could do. Like don't get carbon cranks. I wouldn't get electronic suspension. I wouldn't get electronic drivetrain unless yours is totally clapped. Focus more on the like.
Yeah, I think suspension and things. And suspension and brakes. If those things are in need of service or upgrade, you could do that. But otherwise you still have a really good bike. So you could also do none of this and then have more money in your pocket and just keep riding and riding. So
buy a boat.
Yeah. Don't buy a boat. Find a friend with a boat. Boats are the worst investment I've heard. I don't have enough money for boats.
I think that's probably true.
I've heard they're not good things.
I've got the boat fever right now. So
I think jet skis. We're all gonna get jet skis.
Yeah. I would try a bike on a jet ski.
We could figure it out.
Phone in if you've carried a bike on a jet ski.
Yeah, we can put it on the front, right? We'll make a jet ski.
Yeah.
We got things to figure out.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go hunt for Sasquatch now and look at the price of jet skis. But hopefully, that was hopefully we answered some of those questions decently well. Yeah. And then next time, there's a chance there might be a special guest for the next podcast. I won't tease that too much, but then in the meantime, we got World Champs coming up, a bunch of other good bike racing. So keep hitting us up with your questions, and we'll catch everybody next time.
Sick.
Bye.